Hello guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. In today's video, we are going to learn about the different techniques of measuring correlation. And if you don't know what correlation is, please do check my last video on the meaning of correlation. And the link for the video is available in the description box. So let's start our today's video. There are different ways to measure correlation between the different two variables. And they are like, we can have scatter diagram, we can go for Karl Pearson's coefficient of correlation, we can have Spearman's rank correlation. In today's video, we are going to learn about the scatter diagram way to find out the correlation between any two variables. Before we move on to the scatter diagram process, the way to understand how do we find correlation, first let us know about the slopes that we have in the graph. When we talk about correlation, majorly we talk about two slopes. First one, as you can see here, the positive slope, and the next one that you can see here in the diagram is the negative slope. The positive slope, here you can see if the value of x increases, similarly the value of y increases. That is why it is called a positive slope. If the value is increasing for the independent variable, the dependent variable increases on its own. You can see the line moves from left side to right side. The line is moving in the upward way. When we look at negative slope, you can see that if the value of x increases, the value of y is decreasing. The slope is at the top on the left side and it is moving towards the bottom on the right side. The slope, the line is moving towards the downward direction. So that is the negative slope. So these are basically the two types of slope majorly we use while we study about the scatter diagram way to find out correlation. So now let us know about what actually scatter diagram is. So talking about scatter diagram, it is a useful technique for visual examination of the form of relationship between the two variables. When we talk about x and y, it is not always necessary that you are having some numerical way to find out correlation. In the scatter diagram way, you can find out correlation by just visualizing the diagram. It is not necessary here in this way, it is not compulsory to use any of the numerical way to find out correlation. In this, you can see one of the variables is plotted on the horizontal axis and the other one is plotted on the vertical axis. So this is what actually scatter diagram means. Now, how many types of scatter diagrams are there? Let us find out. So here we have three types of scatter diagrams. First one, you can see here, positive correlation. Then we have negative correlation. And then there's the last diagram that you see here has no correlation. So as we read about positive slope, it relates to positive correlation. You can see the line here is matching with the positive slope. If the value of x will be increasing, the value of y will be increasing. Now here you can see these points. These points are very much close to the line. Actually, the thing is, these points, they tell us how much the two variables are related to each other. These are the types of correlation like positive, negative and no correlation. But to find out how much they are related to each other, how strong their relationship is, we have the degrees of correlation. Let us check that in our next slide. So talking about degrees of correlation. The degree on which the variables are related to each other depends on how these points are scattered over the chart. You can see here in the chart we have four different types of degrees. You can see the first one, that's perfect correlation. It has got all the points in a straight line. It is called a perfect correlation diagram. Then we have high, then we have low, and then we have none. The strongness of their relationship depends on these scattered points. As far as they are, the less strong their relationship is. We call it low correlation. So correlation actually depends, while we are using the scatter diagram, on the way these points are put there in the graph. The more the points are plotted closer to each other, the higher the correlation is there between them. And then we can find out whether it is a perfect positive correlation or a perfect negative correlation. We know what is a positive slope, what is a negative slope. So using these different degrees along with the types of correlation, we can find out what is the actual relationship between the two variables. So that's it for today's video. Please guys, do like, share and subscribe to my YouTube channel. Thank you.